All right, 0.4 slope-intercept form. All right, so there's 5 skills I found that connect with this lesson. And the first few we'll kind of touch on in this video, but the last couple are definitely ones that we'll have to spend some time talking about in class. But this is all review, so I'm not too worried about it for you guys, but just want to let you know that we're probably going to have to talk about some of these in class. So, slope-intercept form. Objective, students will be able to use slope-intercept form to write an equation of a line. Hey, here's slope-intercept form. And if you remember from the last video, that M represents our slope. And now we have this letter B that represents our y-intercept. A y-intercept, guys, that is just, all that is when you have, you have a line here, it's this point where the graph hits the y-axis. So it's basically the height of a line when it crosses the y-axis. That's all it is. So pretty easy to recognize, but all we're really doing here is just writing these equations. So let's do example 1. Write the equation of the line whose slope is 3 and whose y-intercept is -4. Well, look, they're just straight up giving us the values. So all we have to do is say y equals, slope is 3, so 3 times x. And then instead of plus -4, we could just write -4, because plus -4 or plus the b value is the same thing as just writing -4. And that's it. There's the equation of the line. That's all there is to it. All right, so practice number 1, write the equation of the line whose slope is -2 and whose y-intercept is 7. Go ahead and give that a try. Pause the video and then check back when you're ready to check your work. All right, so the slope is -2, the b value of the y-intercept is 7, so -2x, so -2 times x plus 7. That's it. Okay, and then this is just a little reminder that, remember, slope is simply the rise over the run, right? So when we go to look at this graph here, in example 2, it says write the equation of the line shown in the graph. Well, we need to be able to interpret the slope, right? We need to be able to figure out what the slope is, and we can do that visually. And we could do that by just, like we did in the last video, by picking a couple points. But this time I'm going to pick some obvious points. I'm going to do it without really doing much math. So these are the only 2 points that I find that are truly noticeable. And I'm just going to think, okay, well, what is the rise and what is the run from I'll call it point A to point B? Well, it looks like we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's up 4. And then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that's over 5 to the right. Both of those are positive directions, so it's 4 over 5. So I think just from using rise over run, we could say that the slope here has got to be 4 over 5. And that's super helpful. Now, this may have confused you because I called this point A and this point B, but notice I used capital letters because capital letters mean something different in math than lowercase letters. So what is the lowercase b or the y-intercept? Well, that's already pretty clear because if you look right here, this is the point where it crosses the y-axis. So that is the b value, the little b, and that's 2. So I have everything I need to write my equation now. I could say y equals m. M is 4/5 x plus my b value, which is +2. So I'm just going to say +2. So recognize the slope using rise over run. Find the y-intercept by just looking at the graph and seeing where it crosses the y-axis. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so for practice 2, you're going to do basically the same thing. Write the equation of the line shown in the graph. Find the slope, find the y-intercept. You might want to pause the video, give it a try, and then unpause it when you're ready to check your work. All right, so first thing I did is take a look at these slopes. I picked this point here and this point here because they're the ones that are clearly on the line. See, like this, these aren't clearly on an intersection, so it's not so easy to determine what that coordinate is, but this one and this one were. So from there, I went down 3 units and over 4 units. So that's a rise of -3 and a run of 4. -3 over 4. And the y-intercept is 1 because it crosses the y-axis at 1. So y equals -3/4x plus 1. All right, let's go to the next page. All right, example 3, write the equation line shown in the graph. Not much different than what we did before. We need to find the slope and we need to find the y-intercept. Really pretty straightforward. So I look at example number 3 here. Let's pick a couple points. This is obviously a really easy point to pick. Where's another clear point that's on the graph? Probably right here. And so let's first figure out what the rise is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went up 4. And then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that our slope here is 4 over 5 because we have a rise of 4 and a run of 5. And also there's our y-intercept. So the b value is 2 because that's where it crosses the line. So write our equation of the line. It's simply y equals, the slope is 4/5 x, and a positive 2. Easy peasy. So same thing with practice 3. I want you guys to do this one. Write the equation of the line shown in the graph. Go ahead and give it a shot. Pause the video and work on it, and then unpause it when you're ready to check your work. Okay, so I picked this point here and the origin, and I saw that it was going down 3 over 2, so my slope is -3/2. And this is kind of interesting because the y-intercept is actually 0. So when I go to write my equation, it's y equals -3/2 x plus 0. And you don't really want that plus 0 there in your equation. It's plus nothing, so you don't really include it in your actual equation. It's just like that. And there you go. You have your equation of the line. All right. Let's say you weren't given the slope, just the y-intercept, so kind of like this point, here that we have, and then another point. How could you write the equation of that line in slope-intercept form? So I want you to think about that. Think about the last notes, what you could do if you had the y-intercept and another point, and how you could end up writing that equation of the line. We're going to play with that idea in class. All right, see you guys on the next video.